something that I honestly been pondering on actually for a few years now. I remember what the Bible said about women and like the evil spirit, what the Bible says about the Jezebel spirit, and you know, things I see that women do, things I know and heard that women do. The paternity issue, how these women lay next to a man for years, looking a kid in the eyes for years, knowing there's no relation. How good men get stoned out.
Hold on. Let's stop there. I promise you, I'ma rewind it. I'ma play it in its entirety, and then we gonna go ahead and comment after that. But one thing that she said is absolutely diabolical, and it's a lot of women. We don't like to have this conversation. It's almost taboo, especially in certain communities. But there are a lot, and when I say a lot, there are a lot of y'all that don't even know who your real father is, and you grew up and you still probably believe that the man that raised you is your real father, and he don't even know that he's not your real father. There are a ton of mothers, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, and so on and so forth who have children by men that they then told the man that they was with that they are with. That is completely diabolical. And to speak to her point, are women evil? Are women purely evil? That's a hard case. If so many good women, and trust me, it's a lot of women that went to the grave with it, you'll never know. You'll never even know. Some of y'all believe that your father is one thing and you are a completely different kid. And it's a lot of guys that knew, had an inkling of it, and then loved her anyway. And I believe that men love much harder, much more fervently than women. It's a lot of people that have children, and for a woman to sleep with multiple different men and then get pregnant and then live with that for the rest of their life, you have to have something in you to hold that in. You know how stuff eat at you and it bothers you, and eventually you got to come forward with it and you have to clean up yourself, ask for forgiveness. Man, think about how many people and how many lineages is not even really the lineage of the person that they think that they are, and your DNA and your IQ and everything around it, and you were completely different than the person that she supposedly had a child with or married. That is a truly diabolical act, and very few people, let me not even say very few people, I'm not even sure that I know any men in real life that would be capable of dying with that lie. I mean, going down with the lie and dying with the lie in the workplace environment is one thing. When it comes to doing crime, that's another thing. But when you're talking about having a child and then having a man think that a child is his, there's a lot of women that will finesse the child support and family court laws in order to get the thing that's best, put men on the birth certificate knowing it's not his. I've seen cases and court cases of women that knew that the child wasn't his and was still going for child support and making his man pay for a child that's not his, refused to take accountability for it. And of course, I'm not saying that all women did it, obviously, that goes without saying, but the fact of the matter is there is a large demographic of women that lean into this, and it is absolutely positively diabolical. You got to be a different type of person to punish a kid, for example, because you don't necessarily care about, or you bitter about the fact that you're no longer with the child's father, or keep a man from his kid and stuff. And these are some of the biggest examples as to why men want to update and redo family court laws that was established at a time that women didn't have as many options, and then men got taken to school and they got threw in jail because of certain things. And I seen a guy go to jail for back child support for a child that was paternity proven that it wasn't his kid. Like, you have to be a diabolical person to lean into that. I want to rewind it and I want to get it from the beginning. I'm going to get her whole sentiment, and then we're going to come back and give our thoughts.
Okay, so this is something that I honestly been pondering on actually for a few years now.
And I always like to give credit to the content creator, so that link is going to be down in the description. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Let's get to it.
I remember what the Bible said about women and like the evil spirit, what the Bible says about the Jezebel spirit, and things I see that women do, things I
She's so
know
confused.
and
She looking
heard
like
that women
man.
do. The paternity issue, how these women lay next to a man for years, looking a kid in the eyes for years, knowing there's no relation. How good men get stomped out. How kids are just used for a check. I've come to the conclusion that I think women are just pure evil. Like, I really think women are just pure evil. Women are naturally evil beings, I believe. And only a woman who's honest about our natural nature of being deceptive can change it. Like, for example, I know that naturally there's a selfish, gimme, 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 I want that type of way about me. So, about people, period, but especially women. So if you can't be honest and say that that's in there, then you can't deal with it and address it. And
She cooking. She even using herself as an example and saying, listen, I know this about myself, and so in order for me to address it, I gotta acknowledge it. She cooking.
so I've noticed that
She's a saint.
the women who say they're the dopest, they're the this, they're the that, are usually the worst, because you have to acknowledge the beast in you in order to tame it. And so I really just think most women are naturally
Bars.
evil. Period. I just think they're evil. And not even just how they deal with men and kids makes them evil, but how they deal with each other. Women are so jealous, deceptive, conniving. Like, you can just feel the evil when you are in the presence of certain women. You can walk in a room and you just feel
She
the
right, that
anger.
energy.
You just feel that demonic spirit. Women are evil. I don't care what nobody say. Women are untrustworthy,
Yes, they are.
deceitful, demonic beings.
That's my woman.
What, y'all gonna get mad at one of y'all own for acknowledging exactly what she know to be true? Are y'all gonna get mad at this woman? And I always like to put the link to the description of the person that is cooking up. Regardless of whether I agree with him or not, I put the link in the description, so that's gonna be down there, as well as probably pinned to the top of the chat. So y'all gonna get mad at her too? And she said it. She said, listen, in order for you to really be able to tame it, you gotta understand it. In order for you to understand it, you gotta acknowledge it. And most women are just delusional. They'll monkey branch. Man, I've seen some women do some crazy stuff, bro. Real talk. I mean, a guy that she done loved allegedly and rocked with and was rolling with and monkey branched into and got with him. And then the minute that he passed away, she was already over into the next dude and using his life insurance money to make sure that the next dude was taken care of. I mean, it's crazy. And when you think about it, it's very difficult and it's hard for men to then be able to trust, but you'll then come online and say, well, men are supposed to do this, or I can't believe he ain't doing this, or if he ain't doing this and if he ain't doing that. And of course, it's a selfish mentality and it's always a what have you done for me lately situation. However, women then say that and then at the same time will absolutely destroy his life. Absolutely destroy his life. And I'm sure we all got stories. I'd like to hear some of y'all stories inside of the chat. Let me know some of the things that you've witnessed in real life from people you know or people that you don't know, third party, whatever. Tell me some of the things that you've seen. I've seen women set dudes up. I mean, set them up to get murked and don't even think twice about it. Be walking around back at their job, doing whatever it is that they doing like they never even seen them getting murked. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description.
And God bless this sister, man. You know what? I hate to say this. I've always felt that way about women, though. Even though I love them, I'm a heterosexual man. I'm straight. I've always had that. I said, women are, because even, let me tell you something. I've always felt that way when I was a 4-year-old kid. I never forget this. And it was these. I had built this. I was at the beach with my mom and a bunch of other kids. I remember we went with a bunch of other. I don't know who they were. I vaguely remember. I was about maybe 4 years old, and one of the older kids. It might have been. It was a guy, one of my mama's friends or something. I remember it was a bunch of us at the beach, and I was used to building sandcastles, just piling up sand and just building it up like that. But this guy showed me how to actually take the buckets and make the castle with the buckets, and he set it up all nice. I was so proud of that sandcastle. And then these girls came through and they said, "Look at your sandcastle. What if I stepped on it and stepped on my fucking sandcastle?" 4 years old. Ever since that, I thought to myself, why would she fucking do that? Why would she fucking step on my fucking sandcastle? Why would she? I remember she was eating some ice cream cone with some other girls. I was about 4. She's about maybe 8, 9, maybe 10. I thought to myself, why would she fucking do that? 4 years old, I realized then, I said, women are fucking evil, dude. I was so proud of my damn sandcastle. And I think she saw me being happy in my sandcastle. She came and stepped on my shit. Fast forward, I remember when I was a teenager, a girl ended up giving me something. She gave me fucking gonorrhea. And she said, the reason why I gave it to you is to see if I got it from somebody else. I never forget that shit. I was gonna kill that bitch. I was thinking about killing that bitch. I wouldn't be sitting here talking to y'all right now. Let me tell y'all, I've always thought this about women. I said, women do some evil fucking shit. I've seen men get done in. This guy here, he talked about women setting men up. I've heard stories about my sister friends who used to sell drugs. They would get set up by girls all the time. They get robbed. All kind of shit, man. This sister is telling the freaking truth. She needs to get her flowers. Whoever this sister is, she's telling the truth. Women are fucking evil, dude. Who ends up leaving a marriage? 80% of marriages end in divorce, and that's usually filed by a woman. That's in the statistics. Come on, man. Come on. The motherfuckers are evil, dude. I'm telling you. I wouldn't say all of them. I would say maybe 75% of women on this planet are evil. The other 25% are either married or hard to find. But they either married or lesbians. The other 25%. The other 25% that are good. But yeah, I've always thought that. Like, women are fucking evil, dude. They really are. She is telling the freaking truth. You know? Like I said, I've seen men get set up. I've seen men who thought that their kid was their kid. You know, I was reading some in the comments. Let me tell y'all, I was reading some of the comments, and this is from Anton Daniels, by the way. Check out his YouTube channel. I was reading some of the comments. Check out this story right here I read. Check this out. Now, this is how evil bitches is. My uncle went through something similar a few years ago. His wife, this is from, if y'all can't see, it's at Dorsale Official. My uncle went through something similar a few years ago. His wife was dying of cancer, and on her deathbed, she told him that 3 of their 4 children weren't his. See how fucked up that is? This absolutely crushed him, and he passed away less than a year later. Broke that man's heart before she died. Evil bitch. On her deathbed. Crazy thing is that my grandfather, his mother, told him that she didn't believe the kids were his. She had a feeling, but he wasn't trying to hear it, so he dropped the subject and never brought it up again. Old people be knowing. I just want to read that one right there. Ain't that some evil ass shit? This man whole life probably thought them 4 kids was his. Only one of them was his. And she took that shit all the way, sleeping with this man, knowing damn well them wasn't his kids. That's some evil shit. You gotta listen to your family. Your mama and them be knowing. The crazy thing is, my grandmother, his mother, told him she didn't believe the kids were his. See, you gotta listen to your mama, dog. Mamas be knowing. Mamas be knowing. Because they just as evil as she is. Because they know how evil bitches are. That's why mamas be knowing. As the old girl said here. Bravo to this sister for saying, I've always thought this about women. I've always thought that. I hate to say it, I ain't ashamed to say it. I've always thought people, I've always kind of kept that shit to myself because I don't want people to think I hate women like I'm Mr. from The Color Purple. You know what I'm saying? But I've always like, women do some evil fucking shit. They do evil shit, dude. Evil. Thank God for this sister breaking it down. Because even she had to break it down. She's like, y'all, we evil. Why do you think women always go for the bad boy, not the good guy? If you want a good guy, you'll go for a good guy. But if you're a bad person, you'll go for the bad person. If you're a good person, you'll go for the good person. How come they said that women never go for the good guy, they always go for the bad boys? Because they're bad. Simple and plain. Anyway, man, what do you think about this video? Let's talk about it in the comments. Hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel. Charles Inez World. Appreciate it.